Hello once again, and welcome to Learn Python 3 the Hard Way. In exercise 28, we're continuing your understanding of Boolean logic. Now, obviously, if you have a math or engineering background, science, philosophy, this is probably very simple. So I'm going to tell you one specific thing. Programmers like to pretend like they're very, very smart because they can make computers do things, and other people can't make computers do things. But when it comes down to it, if you know math or engineering or music or even like English, being a competent writer, then programming is just another language, and it's pretty straightforward. It's not like there's a lot of surprises. In fact, when you run into a language that has a lot of weird surprises, most likely the only people who like that language are other programmers who feel that the language makes them smarter. So Python is a language that's designed for folks that's supposed to be straightforward. So if you don't know Boolean logic, this is going to help you in math classes and whatnot later. And if you do, this should be straightforward. Don't assume that because it's programming, somehow it's weirdly different. It's not. It's going to be straightforward. If you run into anything super odd, maybe the guy who designed it, the guy who designed Python, didn't quite know that, but he's a very competent person, and I'm pretty sure he got it right most of the time. Okay, so this exercise is fairly straightforward. You should read through it. What you're doing is you're taking a series of more complicated Boolean expressions, and then you're trying to guess what they are. So I'm going to give you a demo of this really quick. I'm going to take the most complicated one right here. All right. My copy-paste skills are very lacking, so let's see how well I do this one. There we go. Now, I've got Python running, and it's, continued from the last exercise. And I hit enter. All right, so, okay, we're done. There you go. No, I'm just kidding. This is great. Python will tell you, but what you need to be able to do is to reason about why this is false. Okay? So the easiest way for me to do that, right, is for me to show you how to take an expression like this and break it down. So I have sort of a list. This seems to work for me, but some other people have alternate ways of doing this. And these 5 steps will help you break down a logic puzzle like this, a Boolean logic puzzle, and see why it is true or false. Okay? So let's walk through this. So first thing is, we want to find all the equality tests and replace them with their truth. Okay? So true or false. So what we want to do then is that means, see, inside the parentheses, those are going to be run first, okay, just like in an algebra class. And then we have an OR. Okay, so we want to replace all of these, this one and this one, with its truth, okay? And the easiest way to do that is to actually come up and rewrite this. So first, what we can say is, we can come in and we can go, does Python equal fun? And we can say, no, that is false. So I can go like this and go false, and we still get false. So we want to play this game where we're replacing these smaller expressions that you memorize in exercise 27 with their truth until we maintain the same result. Okay, so now we can go to the next equality and replace that one. Testing equals testing is true. Okay, hey, so far so good. Now let's look at the next step. Then we find all of the and or inside parentheses and solve those. So, okay, so I'm going to find all of the ands or. Okay, so we only have one. So true or false, right, should come up to be, and this is going to test my skill at memorizing these things. Keep in mind, I don't code as much as I used to, so I've been painting for a while. So let's see if I did this right. I think it's going to be true. True or false is going to be true. Okay, we're still doing good. Okay, now we replace that with that. So the next step, and there's no other equalities except for that first one to the left. We're kind of ignoring it because it's not parentheses. Okay, find any remaining, and let's see, find each not and invert it. So let's do the not, and we can get rid of this parentheses here, right there. So that we can go away. Okay, not true is going to be false. So we got false here. Okay, and we can get rid of that. So we're still false, and then we solve any remaining ones. Ands or ors, those are fine. Oh, and then we have this one equality that we have to solve here. So let's do that. 3 equals 3, so true, still false. And then we go true and false. For that to be true, they have to be both true. So now we know this is false. And there we go. That's how you solve it. Now, interestingly enough, this should be pretty close to how the computer would solve it. I would have to go confirm Python's order of operations for these. And it's what's called operator precedence, which means does an OR get processed before a not or an equals. But I think this is pretty much pretty accurate in how it would do it. That's all you got to do. You can break them down like that. That would be a really good demonstration. I've also got a textual description of how each thing is broken down. And I would start with the simpler ones first. And then once you do that, start crafting your own. Come up with your own like logic tricks. One way to do it is type out your little logic puzzle. And before you hit enter, so like let's say you come in here and you do true and false or false and true. So before you do that, before you hit enter, try to guess, try to like think through and figure it out. So false and true is going to be false, and true and false is going to be false. So false or false is going to be false. Right? Do that. Try to guess. And then if you don't guess right, break it down like I just did. Okay, that's exercise 28. Let's move on to 29 when you get finished that.